Hi, welcome to another episode of Freedom for Journalists, and I have Ken Amlin.
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So tell me the name of your production companies that you have.
Well, I have KRA Productions, and I have I'm a co-founder of Smogtown Films. And we've been making short films, narrative films since 2008. When we started, we made a feature film called Moonlight Sonata about a werewolf outbreak on a campus, and ever since then we've been up to about 20 short films now and working towards more features.
What inspired you to get into cinematography?
Well, I grew up just loving movies, and when I was in high school, my best friend Corey Bissett came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to make a movie. You want to make a movie with me?" And I said, "Absolutely, let's do that." And we were so naive at the time. We thought, well, we've watched movies before. We like movies. How hard could it be? The answer is very hard. But if we knew that at the time, we probably wouldn't have even started. We jumped head first, and we didn't know really what we were getting into. And 2 years later, we had this feature film, and we loved the process and haven't turned back.
And what's the latest one you're working on now?
Well, right now I've got a few productions in the go. I just completed work on a new 10-minute narrative short comedy called Festival Darling, starring Windsor's Sarah Booth. That was shot on location at a film festival about a filmmaker at a film festival. So Sarah's husband, Gavin Michael Booth, challenged me with the idea of making a short film at a film festival. We were already attending a festival in support of a few projects. He had a film he was supporting, I had a film that I was supporting that was getting screened, and we thought, while we're there, we've got all these filmmakers and actors gathered in one spot. Let's make the most of it. Let's make a new film. So over the course of 2 days, we had a small crew with myself, Gavin, Sarah, and Lucas Jones, and we ran around the city and shot what became Festival Darling. So that now is in the festival circuit itself, and it was just screened in Wisconsin. Hopefully we'll have more screenings later this year.
Now, what is it like working with such amazing talent in Windsor? Like, is it like, wow, I can't believe there's so much talent in Windsor, and all? What's the feeling with working with everybody like that?
Oh, it's incredible. You don't need to leave the city to find great talent. Like, the talent is already here. So the fact that we can write these stories and work with such incredible actors to bring them to life, like, that's great.
And would you consider that one of the most rewarding things, working in production and everything?
Well, that's a good question. The most rewarding thing about working in production, I've just got this unending need to create, right? I always want to be doing something and creating something, and when it's done and I can show other people and see their reaction to it, if it's a comedy, make them laugh, if it's a horror, scare them a little bit, that's such a great feeling, and I live for that.
And how do you deal with conflict on a set, like working on a thing, like somebody says they don't agree with your style of shooting or whatever? Have you ever came across that, and how do you deal with that?
Well, that is a reality of the job. There's always going to be a lot of different personalities on a film set. Whenever you're dealing in a creative medium, creative people are really passionate about what they're doing. That's why they're doing this. And if your ideas don't mix with someone else's ideas, you have to understand everyone just wants what's best, and sometimes those ideas aren't the same thing. So, you have to have conversations. Communication is a big, important part, and hopefully you can filter out the people who are going to be problematic before, and you just want to surround yourself with friends and people who are in it for the right reasons.
And what advice would you give to people that are just starting off in this field?
Well, it's a better time than ever because you've got every opportunity to make a film. You can grab your smartphone and just shoot something. You can show people on social media, YouTube. There's platforms and the equipment available like never before.
How do you see the movie business in Windsor? Like, do you see it like taking off, or do you see it with a really slow start and all that?
Well, the film industry here in Windsor is very exciting right now. When I first started about 16 years ago, I wasn't aware of everything that was happening. There was maybe a handful of production companies doing productions, and that was about it. And that's because the limitations of the equipment, it was such a high entry point to get into. So if you were a hobbyist, you couldn't produce a short film on the weekend because you didn't have $10,000. Now, because the equipment is so much more attainable, there's just a plethora of a lot more filmmakers doing this kind of thing, which is so exciting. And the entire industry is building and growing every day. So we've got so many incredibly talented filmmakers right here in Windsor that are building this film community up from where it already was, and it's becoming a really incredible force. I think the Windsor Film Festival that Vincent Georgi is the head of is a huge factor in that. You know, he's a champion of film, and that just helps generate all kinds of interest in the medium.
What is the cheapest production that you ever worked? Let me rephrase that. What's the cheapest production that you've done on a low budget?
Well, I've done films for as little as $0, right? You're grabbing whatever equipment and people and props that you have at your access. So when I did Moonlight Sonata, the feature film from 2008, that entire film budget was $3,000. That included the cost of buying the camera. That included $700 worth of fake fur to build the werewolf costume.
Wow.
Yeah, Fabric Land is not an inexpensive place to visit.
So how many films have you done so far within the period of time that you've been in this business?
I've kind of lost count, but it's upward over 20 short films at this point, and a lot more commercial productions as well. So it's been busy.
And you're going to show us some clips?
Yeah, I think I've got a clip here of Festival Darling, which is the new short film that I just talked about and I created. So we'll take a look.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. Take my card. Hi, I'm Jennifer. Take my card. I'm Jennifer. Hi. Hi, I'm Jennifer. Take my card. 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 Pick a card. Any card. Get it? Is my card. Take my card.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey! Take my card.
Can I help you?
Yes, I will have a pint, but only if you heard me.
There you go. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
This is my very first film festival. Do you have any tips?
Are you talking to me?
Oh, no. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Because there ain't anybody else here, so you must be talking to me.
If you look around, there are people waiting.
Just wish me luck. Woo!
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Didn't go.
So many questions to ask you, Matt.
Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. We can just shoot the shit.
What's it like to work with Sarah Booth?
Oh, Sarah's a professional. She was great. When we were doing Festival Darling, it was a very run and gun, small crew, working fast, kind of hectic scenario. So having someone I knew I could trust with the material, I didn't need to give her any notes. She understood the tone right away, and I think she had a lot of fun with the comedy in it. And you can watch her just steal the show. The whole thing, survives because of her.
Yeah, she did amazing on the interview as well.
Yeah.
What was your first camera you bought?
First camera, well, I had old Sony High 8 camcorder.
Wow.
Growing up. It was my parents, and I would play with that and imitate Jackass videos with that camera. But the first camcorder that I purchased was a Canon HV30. It shot 1080i at 24p. And I built all kinds of rigs to try and move it around in efficient ways because you don't want that shaky handheld look if you're making a movie. So I built a round rig that the camera sat in the middle of. I could hold with two hands. I remember building a jib in the backyard with scrap wood, even a dolly with rollerblade wheels.
And who was your favorite cinematographer?
Oh, there are so many talented cinematographers in the world. I don't even know. I couldn't name just one.
And you probably go traveling around the world a lot, like Mexico, and you just went, where was the place you went? the band Tease or whatever? Teaser? Or?
Yeah, last year I was fortunate enough to travel with Peter Friel on his documentary that's covering the band Tease. They're a rock band, classic rock band from Windsor, and they had this headlining show at a rock festival in Belgium. So we flew over to Belgium, spent 5 days there, and captured the entire show. And I think that documentary will be coming out sometime in the next year, and definitely keep a lookout for that.
Yeah. So you're going to permanently stay in Windsor. If somebody in Toronto or British Columbia says, "Hey, we want to hire you to go over there and work and all that," would you stay put-see here, or would you say, "I'm going to go"?
Well, I've got my roots here in Windsor. I love it here. I was born here, raised here, grew up here. I think, if there's a production, the benefit of this job is I can take a production and it's just a part-time thing. Maybe I'm gone for 3 weeks in Vancouver or northern Quebec or Mexico or New York, wherever it might be, and then I'm back here. I've got my roots here.
Now, where's the craziest place you went in the world?
Oh, geez. La Piedad, Mexico was an interesting visit. I was down there shooting a commercial, staying at a hotel, and learned that the company I was working for owned the entire city.
Wow.
There was a big greenhouse operation, and they kept us locked into the hotel compound. We didn't know why until the next morning, found out that it was because the cartel was coming through. So that was a little nerve-wracking to learn the next morning. Also spent some time up in northern Quebec, filming with gold mines. That's a very surreal kind of remote experience. So got to see the Northern Lights. Very cool.
Did you film that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any trips planned for 2024?
Yeah, we got a few trips planned right now. I don't think I can talk about them at this point, but keep your eye out.
All right. Okay. And thank you. And how can people follow you?
Well, I'm on all the socials, Instagram, KRA, and Smogtown Films. Look for that, and you'll see what I'm up to.
And people can follow this interview at freedomforjournalists.com, or they can check it out on YouTube under freedomforjournalists.com on YouTube. I got to get that fixed, by the way. But thank you, Ken. You're an amazing guy. You're a great talent to have in Windsor. I'm really appreciative of having you on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Pete.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. All right.